Hello everybody, this is Tim here again, here with another BoomStick Critique review. Sorry I had to do that. I got a lot of energy today. But anyway, I'm here with another BoomStick Critique review, this time for Children of the Corn 3 Urban Harvest. That's right, baby. The corn gets urban. We going to the city. It's actually not as silly as you think it would be. This film actually plays the hood city setting fairly seriously, which really surprised me. It could have been really goofy. Um, this film is not like the first Children of the Corn movie that goes for a more like suspense-filled type of vibe. And for anyone wondering, I am doing the Children of the Corn franchise next. That is the horror franchise I'm doing next. Is the Children of the Corn franchise. And after this franchise, I'll do the Jurassic Park movies and finish those off since I did Jurassic World a while back. But for Children of the Corn 3, I'll just go ahead and give my rating. I give it 3 stars out of 4. It's good. It's not great. The difference between this one and the first film is that with the first Children of the Corn film, they actually try to be scary and they go for like a suspense horror type thing, much more suspense than there is actual slashing. This film right here is pretty much just a gory slasher. It's pretty much what it is, and for that it succeeds. Problems with the film, it is derivative. This film takes a shitload from The Omen. This movie reeks of The Omen. For anybody who's like a horror fan who's seen a shitload of horror movies, like Full Moon stuff, like if you've ever seen Puppet Master and stuff like that from the company Full Moon, they did like demonic toys. You'll recognize the boy in here, the main evil kid in here, Daniel Cerny, who plays Eli, the character Eli. He's pretty much like Damien from The Omen. His character here is more like the Antichrist compared to the other Children of the Corn leaders in the other films before this and even after this. He has like psychic powers. He isn't human at all or possessed. I don't think he's like a demon. You get flashbacks showing that he has been around since like the first movie, and pretty much he's like a demon who sacrifices groups of adults every like harvest moon to He Who Walks Behind the Rose. Which, if you know any of the Children of the Corn movies, you know that's like the demonic pagan corn god that the kids worship for some reason. But he's like the adoptive brother of this older boy named Joshua. His character is. The actor who played Joshua was fine. He was likable in the film. He starts off as like this naive dude who just like really loves his brother and doesn't think that he would do anything evil or anything like that. Later on in the movie, he's like, "You little shit." He just kind of has that expression on his face. But it's really funny because, of course, the kids are like really Amish. So when they come to the city, the little brother is like always ordering the older brother around. In a way, it's kind of funny. Like the older brother doesn't really stand up for himself. He's like the he's like he well he's like a huge wimp pretty much for the whole first half of the movie. Like he wants to try on like some contemporary clothes compared to his more Amish clothes. And as soon as he tries them on, like the little brother, like Eli, Daniel Cerny, walks into the room, he's like, "Hey, you put those on, bitch." So it's like he's like, "Well, I saw him, massa." He takes them off. It just cracks me up how this dude is like clearly older and much stronger than this little boy, but he's taking orders from him. Or, well, he's not actually stronger than him because the little boy is like a demon, but this dude doesn't know that. But it's just funny to me that he takes orders from him constantly. There's even a scene where he's like playing basketball with the kids at the school, and like Eli walks up to the court and he just like gives him a look like, "Didn't I warned you?" Of course, he just stops. He's like, "My bad, dog. My bad." This shit just cracks me up. This movie. What's good about this movie is Daniel Cerny. The movie really focuses on him for like almost the entire movie. Really, he's the main character. It goes back and forth between like him and Joshua. There's even a priest in the movie who knows that Daniel Cerny is like this evil demon kid, just like in The Omen or whatever. So it does borrow a lot from The Omen, but it works in the movie. It doesn't hurt the film. It never really feels super derivative. It does enough with it. And the performances are good. Or even the weaker performances are decent and enjoyable for a slasher film. You get some badass death scenes in this movie. Like when Daniel Cerny like kills people, he does it like this voodoo type style or whatever he causes his chick's like face to melt off like Raiders of the Lost Ark or whatever, Indiana Jones style. Kind of a neat little effect. Screaming Mad George did the makeup effects. The one thing that like seriously hurts this movie is when you get to the end. Anybody who's seen this film, Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest, any horror fan who has seen this film, whether they like it or not, will tell you there's one thing in this movie, one thing that sends it up shit creek for a moment. At the end of this film, because they want top the first two. At the end of this film, basically Joshua finds out in order to kill Eli, he's like an antichrist type figure. He has to destroy like this Bible that's like the source of Eli's power. It's like a demonic Bible, so he has to kill both Eli and the Bible. So he uses like a corn sickle, fucking ices him with it, stabs both of them at the same time, kills them both. And Eli like explodes, and then he who walks behind the rose himself shows up, this giant like Cthulhu corn demon, and he looks fine. Yeah, you can tell it's a little bit of like old school effects, like miniatures and stuff for the creature, but it looks fine for the most part. And then you get to this one scene that just is so out of place because the other effects in the movie are 90% of the time great to good. You even get this badass scene where this dude gets killed and his like head gets pulled like completely up like that with his like his spine attached to it. It stretches like fucking foot in the air. It looks like it, and it's awesome death scene. But then you get to the end where like the big giant corn demon, he who walks behind the rose, picks up this chick to like eat her, and you can clearly tell she's a Barbie doll. And I'm like, it's just so weird because every other effect in the movie was good, and then you get to that one scene, and I'm like, how did they miss this? You could literally take this movie, do it like a fan edit, take that one scene out, that one cut, and this film would be much better. It's just that one scene. That was the worst scene in the movie. I can't believe that shit was there. The tension is fine and good for the most part of the film. The film doesn't explain, some of the story beats aren't fleshed out enough. Like, what exactly is Eli supposed to be? I mean, the movie pretty much makes it clear that he's like the Antichrist or whatever for the corn demon. But I mean, if he's been around since the first movie, I mean, that puts like a continuity problem because if he's been around since the first movie, or even, well, he's actually been around since before the first movie. He's been sacrificing people since before the first movie ever happened. So if that's the case, why would we even have Isaac in the first movie or the Micah boy in Children of Corn 2? I mean, why were they even there when this dude like clearly has been around since way before they were? Why wasn't he just doing this shit in the other two movies? I mean, that's what I don't get. But other than that, he's fine. Daniel Cerny does a good job acting wise. He does a good job playing the demonic corn kid. Isaac, the guy who played Isaac, John Franklin, is still the best actor and the creepiest corn leader of the films. But Daniel Cerny is a strong second. He's definitely second. He's a good child actor. He just kind of disappeared after this movie, though, which is weird. But he's a good child actor, or was. But yeah, then the corn demon starts like killing everybody and slicing them up and shit left and right. It turns into a big gore fest. It's actually really cool. You actually get Charlize Theron here, who gets killed like Evil Dead style, where like instead of a tree rape, it's like a tentacle porn rape where it like goes between her legs. Pretty funny. But Joshua ends up killing the corn demon, he who walks behind the rose or whatever, by taking like a corn sickle and cutting its root, and it causes the creature to die. Cuts its connection to the earth or whatever that it's attached to, makes it lose its power. So it causes it to like deteriorate. How he knew that exactly, though, I'm not for sure. I guess he just assumed because the he who walks behind the rose demon like devil thing is like a creature of the earth. So if you, I guess, take it away from the earth, it makes sense in a way that it would lose its power, or at least temporarily. I guess I don't know. That makes the most sense. It makes sense if you think it out, but just watching it in the movie, it doesn't. It makes less sense. If you think on it too hard, but for the movie, it happens fast and quick enough to where it's a satisfying idea for killing the creature off. It's a demon of the earth. You cut the fucker's tail, it's attached to the earth. It should be dead. It should at least lose its power. But anyway, so it dies. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Eli's got like this poison demon corn in the movie or whatever that's going to be shipped like all over the world now to kids all over the world. And that's another little plot hole. Like, if the demon is dead, he who walks behind the rose is what gives this demon corn its power. So if he's dead, how is this corn even going to have any effect on anybody in any other parts of the world if the creature that powered it is dead? That's kind of a plot hole there. But I guess they just figured, well, I don't know. They just bring him. He who walks behind the rose back for the next movie. I mean, whatever. But for me, this is the last like the true last Children of the Corn movie. After this, the movies just got like worse and worse. Um, the first three Children of the Corn movies are really the watchable ones for me. Those three right there make pretty much a decent horror movie trilogy. Really, not anything great, but pretty much like a decent, Killer Corn trilogy. Nothing outstanding. But for this one, it's good, just except for that one shitty effect shot at the end. And well, the shitty effects shot at the end isn't very good, and the film could have used a little bit more explanation in the story department. It does present one or two plot holes, but other than that, it's a good film. It's a good horror movie, good little splatter fest with over-the-top kills. I've heard some people on the internet like criticize this film for how ridiculous the kill scenes are, like with the dude's spine like stretched out or whatever, because it's like so long and it's like way up in the air. And I'm like, that's the point. It's supposed to be just over-the-top, gory fun. You're supposed to be just thinking, damn, it's a badass kill, not sitting there going, I must question the logic of this. I better write this down in my science book. After all, I'm watching a movie about demonic corn. I'm like, what? If you're honest, if you're watching a movie called Children of the Corn 3 about a demonic corn child who's like the Antichrist of corn, uh, trying to possess people's minds and make them worship the demon corn god, and you're questioning some dude's spine getting pulled up in the air, then you watching the wrong movies. I'm sorry, you are. You need to go watch Interstellar or something, but you're in the wrong side of the film world. But anyway, all in all, I'd give it 3 stars. It's a good slasher gory time. The kills are the best part of the movie though, and Daniel Stern's performance is good. So I'll see you guys again. I guess I'll go ahead and say I decided to do the Children of the Corn movies out of order because I thought it'd be more fun. Plus, I've seen them like a billion times, so I figured it'd be more fun to do them out of order. So I'll see you guys again with whichever corn movie I snap back with next.